Hello everybody, welcome back to episode 2 of Hayden's Old Scale Trains. In this episode, I'll be showing you and reviewing one of my absolute favorite engines, which is the Lionel Legacy Union Pacific Big Boy 4014 First Run Edition. Back in September of 2021, my mom and I got to see this engine in Colorado and Wyoming. It was so much fun, an experience that I will never forget. Let's dive in and take a closer look at the details. Alright, zooming into the front of the engine, down at the cowcatcher, we have two nicely painted hoses. Then this piece of the cowcatcher opens like that to reveal a dummy scale coupler. Now, if you want to double head the engine, there is a screw underneath that you have to unscrew, and then you swap in the dummy O gauge coupler, and then you're good to go. And this just closes again to hide the scale coupler. Above that we have a coupler cut bar along with two flag holders. This engine does not come in flags, however. Above that we have the start of the two handrails, and then in the middle we have the UP shield. Above that there is the operating headlight with a 4014 on each side, and then there's another handrail above that. Moving back, you can see the pipes that move when the engine articulates. Zooming in, the front of the boiler, there are two operating marker lights along with two operating number boards. Then in the middle we have the bell. And then my favorite part, the front of the boiler swings open like that, and then the Big Boy logo is also on the front of the boiler, which I think is pretty cool. And then it just closes, and it's held on by a magnet. Zooming out and going up, we have the twin smokestacks. This comes off. It's a little cover that's packaged in a separate baggie, and it just goes on and sits there. It's not magnetized or anything. This engine is also equipped with a fan-driven smoke unit, and to load smoke fluid you just place your eyedropper down the stack and squeeze it, and then blow gently to make sure the smoke fluid gets in the batting. The smoke fluid for the main stack will also supply smoke fluid for the whistle. Moving back, we have the first sand dome with some built-in detailing all around. And then behind that we have the steam dome. Moving back, we have some nicely painted safety pop-off valves and a little knob behind the pop-off valves. Behind the pop-off valves, we're at the second sand dome, and this one comes off to reveal some switches. The top switch is the one program switch. That switch is used to program the engine into your Legacy remote. The next switch is the main stack smoke on and off. The third switch is the whistle smoke on and off. And then the last switch is the Bluetooth on and off. This little circle thing is the volume knob for the speaker. And you have to take a really tiny Phillips head screwdriver to adjust the sound. Like really tiny. Then this cover is just held on by a magnet as well. One thing I want to point out is that I'm not sure if this was a mistake, but Lionel did not include the dynamo generator. Not sure why. But anyways, behind that we're at the back of the boiler with some more built-in detailing, and then we are at the roof of the cab. There is a vent or a roof hatch that opens, and then behind that, zoom in a little, Sorry, it is a glare. But you have the... Yeah, that's better. You have the roof antenna. That's on the real big boy. Moving back to the front of the engine and down, you can see the first cylinder. Then below that, we have the pilot wheels. Behind the pilot wheels, we have the first set of driving wheels with some nice driving gear. Behind that, we have the second set of cylinders with some piping above, and then the second set of drivers with some more drive gear. Behind that, we have the huge firebox with some rivet detailing, and then we're at the trailing truck wheels with some more piping all around. Then above that, we're at the cab with a crisp 4014 on the side, and there are two cab figures, crew figures, in the cab, one on each side, and the windows open and close on both sides as well. And inside, this engine does have the firebox glow, which I also think is pretty cool. Sorry about the bad angle. I'm trying to get the 4014 shield that's on the cab floor. You can somewhat see it. There are also two die-cast curtains, which I think is also pretty cool. A lot of cool things on this engine. And then Lionel also included the drop plate, which I like. Doesn't scratch the engine, if I can get it. And then moving on to the tender, there is one of the two legible builder's plates, or information plates. I don't think it's a builder's plate. Then moving up, we have some built-in hatches, along with two handrails. Behind that, we have the 3 opening hatches. They all open, but there's nothing under them. However, this little chest comes off to reveal the volume knob for the tender. This one you can use a flathead screwdriver, and it doesn't have to be wicked tiny like the one for the engine. It can be normal size. And then this is also held on by a magnet, so it just pops right back on. On each side of the tender there are more handrails, as well as more handrails at the back of the tender, and 3 marker lights, and then there is a backup light in the center as well. Moving back to the front, we have the 2 front truck wheels. I mean the 4 front truck wheels, and then a ladder on the front as well. Moving back, we have the rest of the wheels, part of the centipede tender. As you can tell, I don't know much about this tender. Sorry about that. And then, it's kind of hard to see, but maybe if I zoom in a little bit, you can see the second legible plate right there. And it's way too tiny for me to see. I can't see it. It's hilarious, quite frankly. And then we have the rear ladders back here, one on each side as well. And then of course we have the crisp Union Pacific logo. At the back of the tender, we can see that backup light I was mentioning about earlier, and then below that we have the UP logo. Now, when I first got this engine, I was confused about why it didn't say UP 4014, and I had to look it up, and what I found is that this was actually the Challenger's tender, the 3985, so they just blackened out the 3985 and left it, which I think is pretty cool, because the Challenger was my favorite engine, and although I'm sad that I'll probably never get to see it run again, the part of the Challenger is still being used today, so I feel better about that. Another reason why they use the Challenger's tender is because, what I read, is because the big boy's tender was still, what's the word? Modeled for coal burning, not oil burning. And then, okay, moving on to the bottom of the tender. Let me zoom in a little bit, see if you can get it there. We have the fuel and water capacity. It'll focus. Come on, focus. Cripes. Please. Thank you. See if I can read it. I cannot, without putting my face in the camera. But anyways, below the water and fuel capacity, we have, of course, the coupler that can be fired from the legacy remote. Alrighty, next thing we'll do is start it up, and I'll play some of these sound effects and features, and then we'll take it for a spin around the layout for a few times. Alright, here we go.
Union Pacific 4014. Do you read me? Over. Union Pacific 4014. I read you. Over. Start up and hold for track orders. Over. Okay, let's get to work. Out.
Beautiful. Oh, I love it. Alright, first I'll play the water sound effect.
My water's full. Over. Copy that 4014. Out.
Next I'll do the oil. Next I'll do the blowdown effect. And I bet everybody's favorite, I'll do the whistle. And you'll see smoke coming out of the whistle as well. Next I'll do the bell. And lastly, before I roll it out, I'll play some of the Kutok.
This is Union Pacific 4014. I'm made up. Am I cleared to the outbound? Over. Negative 4014. Stand by for clearance. Over. Roger. Standing by. 4014 out. UP 4014. Please stand by. Over. Roger. Waiting for your signal. 4014 out.
Sounded sad.
UP 4014. You are cleared outbound. Over. Thank you much. Cleared outbound. 4014 out.
Alright, let's move it out.
UP 4014. Go to medium speed. Over. Copy that. Increasing to medium.
Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.